Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna, say your name for me so that the viewers can hear it correctly.
Donna Minighini.
Minighini.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. You have brought charts and graphs and paperwork, so I'm just going to kind of sit back and let you have the show for the next few minutes. I know you have a lot of information about SB 375. Exactly what is that, and why is it such a concern to us?
Okay. SB 375 is a state mandate, a state law that was enacted. Really, I want to go back to SB, I believe it is 32. Want to make some references here, is that SB 32 was an effort by the state of California to reduce or to address global warming. And the methods to achieve the global warming, to reduce greenhouse gases, brought to the creation of SB 375. And SB 375 is basically how they want to reduce greenhouse gases is to develop compact housing, high-density housing where the futuristic housing model type is preferred to be apartments, very small apartments, and that counties will try to create jobs in the neighborhood or the city sphere so that people will drive their cars less. So this is their formula under SB 375. But you know, it's a noble thing to reduce greenhouse gases, but driving your car less and, you know, vehicle emissions have been attributed to being the #1 air pollution source. But Californians they really need their automobiles. It is a convenience, it offers mobility, and there are many other ways to reduce greenhouse gases. So what I found interesting from a paper from Byron Toma, who was examining California's SB 375 high-density sustainable community strategy and what it means to the low density of many of the suburbs, is that he's challenging, you know, some of the concepts and strategies in order to achieve that. And what's interesting in this paper, it says that Senate Bill 375 required regional governments in California to herd local governments into adopting an anti-sprawl approach to growth. That strategy is called the Sustainable Community Strategy. It provides for a series of incentives.
I'm kind of grinning because the word herd is actually in there, to herd.
Yes,
people.
it is. I'm quoting here. But it provides counties incentives, money, to develop compact, high-density development.
If
Well,
I can interject
Yeah,
something here.
I was going to ask you, isn't this the opposite of, you're talking about to reduce sprawl, and yet the Modesto City Chamber of Commerce.
at the Salida MAC meeting.
Go ahead and hand that to me. I'll hold it up.
Why don't you hold that up for me? This was
Let's see.
quite
We'll go this way.
interesting.
There we go.
George Petrolakis got up and did a dog and pony show on behalf of the Modesto Chamber to the Salida Chamber of Commerce about their Brave New World and how they're going to protect prime ag land. And they went through all of that area that's on that photograph there, Athens, and by the end of the evening, it was
there we
just
go.
a little 2,200 acres here and 3,000 acres here. And when it got to the point of question and answer, fortunately Emerson Drake was there and got up and had them put that map back up. And he had done Public Records Act requests for the to the viewer's side, that purple area on the right and the pink on the left and the pink on the top and the blue in the triangle along Highway 99. He goes, this little protection of agriculture, they have just out and out stated there that the Modesto Chamber's plan is to pave over 25,000 acres of prime farmland.
Well, that is in direct opposition with this SB 375 wanting to herd people into a high-density area.
Well, the reason that these folks are behind this is because we believe that they've already owned much of those parcels. And what's really going on with this financially is that the Obama regime is sending in federal grants of printed money from the Federal Reserve. They're showing up as transportation grants, and they're coming to fund all this stack and pack rabbit hutch or dog kennel society.
Does that have to do with the ACE train or the high-speed rail?
That's all connected, but neither of us have spent much energy trying to see how that's integrated. My part in trying to watch this has been that we have no water for any of this. But I'm going to defer back and let Donna continue with some of her core points about what's going on with this deal. Actually, I will inject this. I have a degree in earth sciences from Oregon State with an emphasis in climatology and weather forecasting. And this whole concept of global warming is an absolute and total fraud. And I know of developers in the San Joaquin and Stanislaus County that have been buying carbon credits for over 25 years from China in anticipation of these regs getting put in place. So they buy something for 2.5 cents and they sell it for $25,000. This whole climate change, global warming thing is absolute abject fraud, and it is a criminal conspiracy that's being foisted upon us. But the only reason it's important here is it's the excuse for reorganizing our society.
Right. Well, and just a few other points about SB 375 is that the greenhouse gas mandate for the San Joaquin Valley, the 8 COGs in counties, is to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by 5% by the year 2020. And the baseline greenhouse gas emissions is being taken from the year 2005. And
if I can interject, there is work being done right now where we significantly expect that we may have already met that because of emissions standards from vehicle.
Well, I read just recently that here in the Central Valley specifically, we really have reduced some of our greenhouse gases already, like what you're saying.
But again, SB 375 is the excuse to do that,
right,
to do the development.
And that's where the general plan amendment project is intertwined, because in order for them to develop or redevelop this city, they have to make the type of high density compact developments in low density areas. They have rewritten the entire zoning code. They have rewritten the land use document. I've read that document, and 90% of that document is about redeveloping the unincorporated areas, which is our farmland. And it's even in the housing element update report, it even says these are the things you must do. You must rewrite your general plan, you must rewrite your land use document, and this is exactly what Modesto and Stanislaus County government has done. But see, one of my thoughts is if California's goal is to address global warming and to reduce greenhouse gases, we don't need SB 375 destroying neighborhoods throughout California and dramatically forcing building of high density 2 to 3 story compact housing and encouraging people not to drive their cars. The convenience of the automobile is very widespread. You don't realize that if we wanted to go across town, let's say on Sisk Road, and frequent any of the restaurants there or any of the stores there, bus routes may not necessarily go there? Or could you imagine going to Safeway and having 6 to 8 bags of groceries, and you are expected to carry that on a bus? What about children? Your child needs to go to soccer practice or needs to go to a friend's house that's, not close by or not near a bus route, and you're expected to take mass transit, or you're expected to ride your bicycle to work, or walk to work. Many people have jobs that are out of the city, and there is no guarantee that the same job, the same good job, will present itself locally where you live, and that you will even be picked for that job. It's just absurd. SB 375, the state has no right to dictate how a city or neighborhoods will look like.
Athens, if I can also interject, this SB 375 is dictating that Stanislaus County has to build 25,608 new units. Average occupancy in these low-income, high-density dog kennels is 4 persons per unit. They're proposing that they're going to import 100,000 non-educated, non-working folks into the county. The last census was 515,000 for Stanislaus. This bill and this stack and pack plan is that they're planning on importing 100,000 new people into the county. Dick Monteith went through and talked to housing about whether the county can actually cause local, long-time low-income folks to actually have access to these units. He said absolutely not. They can come from anywhere.
Well, I have a question as we're going through this, and that is, and this may be directed toward Reed, although I haven't had a chance to talk with you, Donna, much before the show. But does this, what would be a state mandated influence to our county and to our city specifically, encroach upon my right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? If I want to live in a rural area, is the state government going to come in and tell me, oh, too bad, you're now going to be in a kennel, as you say?
Exactly. Well, I have to say that they talk about that this is, that people should have a choice of housing. Well, what about a choice of a rural community? SB 375, in its high-density, compact, no driving cars environment, is really an attack on rural communities. A lot of people live in Modesto because they don't want to live in the high-density cities of San Francisco and the Peninsula, San Jose. I used to live in the Bay Area for a number of years, and I've been living here in Modesto since 2005. Even recently, when I go back to the Peninsula or San Francisco, you immediately feel and see that there are much more, many more people there. And to me, it's not a quality of life, because I prefer a slower quality of life with opportunities here. But we are farmland. We are an agricultural industry. We cannot forget what this region, what our prime responsibility is. And the articles in the Modesto Bee, you have, it confirms it, and what people have long known is that the almond crops are our #1 industry. And I live in the unincorporated area, and I drive through those streets, and I am seeing almond tree or peach trees, orchards just destroyed and torn down, and it's now vacant land as if it never even existed. And it makes me wonder, why this is even happening.
Don, if I can interject too, I've been on the show before with the Athens, and thank you for each of those opportunities. Parallel to this, because I've been looking at everything that's taken place over the last 2 years with the water sale of MID Water to San Francisco. And by the way, for your viewers, that has not stopped. The water sale is in full-blown marketing mode through the new election of 3 directors. They're going to work overtime to get directors in that will sell our water. But parallel to selling our water has been the State Water Board came in with the unimpaired flow requirements to protect salmon. So what's come out of that is the Water Board's document says that it is their intention to fallow 220,000 acres of prime farmland, permanent crops, in Stanislaus and Merced counties. And that was based on a conversation of 35% unimpaired flow, which I won't go into any of the details about. The head of water rights for the State Water Board was in Modesto in June and stated, for the public record, don't get focused on 35% unimpaired flow. We're really going to take 45 to 55%. Well, this year, with 40% of normal rainfall, the city of Modesto and the whole of the agriculture within the Modesto Irrigation District would have not gotten a single drop of water diverted from the Tuolumne River. Not a drop. Everybody would be running off of wells. So what I'm seeing is that's going on is it is the state's intention to force ag out of business, into foreclosure, force them off the ground by taking all of their water. That's where the stack and pack comes from, is they're going to force them out of the rural area, and those that survive and stay in the area are going to end up with this as the choice. But this is an orchestrated strategy to basically reorganize our society.
But see,
Oh,
with this,
I'm going to hold this up again.
with the general plan update, I mean, this is the city's land use and transportation development plan, to try and position the city for future success with residential development and commercial development. And, again, Reed had mentioned in order to receive grant monies for transportation improvements, this is where the general plan and the housing element requirement from RHNA, the Regional Housing Needs Assessment, where this 25,608 affordable low-income units are intertwined. The city and the county has been involved in certain transportation projects, and they receive millions and millions of dollars in order to do that. But there's supposed to be greenhouse gas reduction strategies or projects. And I'd like to just list just about 6 or 7 of them under the overall work program fiscal year 2012-2013. And it states here, under previous work, it says here, Route 132 West Expressway, Route 219 Lane Widening Project, Route 99 Mitchell Service Road Interchange Project, 219 Kernan Avenue Interchange, Hammett Avenue Interchange, Pellendale Interchange. And it was told at one of these public workshops for the general plan amendment that the county or the city or county has received $92 million just for the additional widening of Kernan Road and Pellendale. Kernan Road and Pellendale are 4-lane, to me they're expressways, especially Kernan. People are going 50 miles an hour down these roads, and Kernan Avenue is supposed to be one of the major developments for the Sustainable City Plan under the General Plan Amendment and as mandated by SB 375. But who would want a house and a bicycle lane or walkway next to or on a road where cars are traveling 50 miles an hour? You got to be out of your mind.
Well, I know one way to reduce the greenhouse gases with Kernan, Pellendale, and a few other overpasses. They could get rid of one of those extra stoplights that causes people to be on the overpass for 15 minutes. But I digress. I have a question for you, Reed, before we go. Do you think that the Modesto Chamber of Commerce is in cahoots with SB 375 to make the anti-sprawl to fallow the land and bring everybody into stack and pack, and they're doing scare tactics like this to get people to buy into it?
I don't know about scare tactics. I think that there is an orchestrated effort that everybody involved in this, and for example, within city and county planning, all of the planners have come through the AICP branded both education certification. So Stack and Pack, Sustainable Cities, is the only mindset. It is the worldview from every single planner that's involved in this. We're in a 25 to 30% real unemployment if we really get down to it within Stanislaus County. And there's no market for any of these developers to develop their land or to build residences or to build office buildings. There's hundreds to thousands of office buildings are empty right now. We're still in the residential housing slump, and so they can't make any money there. Mm-hmm. But if they can put these deals together and get federal grant monies coming in to do low income, because that's what the policy of the regime wants us to have, they're going to make literally billions out of what's on that map right there.
You have some scary looking numbers here.
Right. Well, this is what a lot of concerned people are looking at, is that whether it be in the Chamber of Commerce Pathway to Jobs plan, where they have, acres and acres and acres of farmland set aside to destroy and put it into business park development, there is no guarantee that if they build them, they will come. I would much more like to see that before any farmland is destroyed, that the chamber and the city concentrate on contacting businesses, whether they be in the Bay Area or elsewhere, and fill the multitude of vacant retail and business sites that exist in Modesto currently. Anyone can drive down any road and see commercial for sale sign after commercial for sale sign. I mean, we are a commercial ghost town.
And if I can interject this, so we watched the Modesto Chamber of Commerce, George Petrolakis, Cecil Russell, get up and run through this dog and pony show, yet they are the ones that are responsible. I mean, this is the Chamber of Commerce that has presided over our demise. The housing deal, the unemployment level we have. If they want us to believe that that's going to be beneficial to us, they should spend the next 5 to 10 years fixing what we have right now and skip paving over 25,000 acres of the county.
Right. I mean, we just came out of a housing bubble, and there are hundreds and thousands of foreclosed properties still available. StanCog is responsible for administering the transportation improvements and the regional housing needs assessment, the low-income affordable housing. And we have, a couple of us have been at those StanCog policy board meetings where there is a panel represented from different cities, and the Board of Supervisors, are members, and also 3 city council. And every time they ask or the city planners involved with the housing community development about the RHNA or low-income housing numbers, none of these people on the panel can even get a clear answer. They never answer the question. And I want to just point out that many people are concerned with an additional 25,608 low-income affordable housing. I got a letter from an attorney, one of the county's attorneys, and he has confirmed that $20 million to date has been paid to purchase or provide low-income, affordable housing to our needy residents in Modesto. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that we have enough, low-income housing, and for these developers or for the city to incorporate the compact housing on top of all their commercial development, or whether they be standalone projects, such as the Woodland project on Pellendale, is just an overimbalance of low-income housing. I want to make one more point here, is that these the regional housing element update reports that the housing and community development, where you're counties are to determine how much affordable housing they need, is based on population and employment data. And the first housing element report, the 2009 to 14 housing element data report, was passed on August 28, 2012 by the Board of Supervisors. I stood before the Board of Supervisors at that meeting before they passed it, and I read that entire housing report, and I pleaded with them, how can you pass this report when all of the population data is from 1990 to 2000? Now they are looking at it, or they are passing it in 2012. That's 12 years old. The employment data was only up to 2008, and it states, how many employers are in the county providing jobs. And that didn't even take into consideration the beginning of the recession, where employers and businesses were just, going bankrupt and closing down. So all of our low-income housing determinations that StanCog is struggling with right now are based on an erroneous and outdated information that HCD in Sacramento approved.
And if I can interject, Athens, you asked about who all is involved in this. Based on what we had observed with MID and the Water and the City and the Board of Supervisors, one has to absolutely conclude the reason that they're moving on flawed data and not dealing with current data is it doesn't fit the narrative.
So they're kind of massaging
They're
the
cooking the
dates.
books.
Okay, all right.
I want to have Donna make one very important point to your listeners, and that is on August the 19th.
Right, is the Planning Commission's fifth workshop and last meeting, in which they will come up with their decision regarding the general plan workshop amendment proposal. This is this draft plan. It's very important for people to attend, residents of Modesto and unincorporated areas, to attend that August 19th meeting and take a look at this draft plan. It's up on eyeonmodesto.com. There are people that are informed about this, and you really need to know what is happening, what is going to happen to your neighborhood, where all this low-income housing is going to be. You might be quite surprised. There's just a lot going on, and as far as SB 375, this California, and especially our community, we can come together and reduce greenhouse gases by several other ways. It doesn't have to be one way of compact housing and the reduction of using our automobiles. This is the confusion and what all local government is basing everything on. Well, SB 375 mandates it. No, SB 375 is only about the reduction of greenhouse gases through reducing, driving our cars less, but it's forcing unwanted compact housing into our neighborhoods, and it's going to change a total, it's going to cause harm to our neighborhoods.
Thank you for joining me this evening. Donna mentioned ionmodesto.com. Where can we find more information out about the water or StanCog or this plan of the Modesto Chamber of Commerce if we want more information about that?
I'd say Ion Modesto.
Okay.
The Stop MID Insanity website has been primarily focused on the San Francisco water sale.
Okay. Are you going to revisit that? And
We are, because MID candidate for the board, Jim Mortensen, is out in front. They're fully intending on doing all their infrastructure improvements with the sole purpose of selling our water outside the area. And the developer, Mr. Van Konijnenburg, who was on the Water Advisory Committee, is equally vocal about selling water.
Well, thank you for joining me. Stick around.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Thank you, Reed.
Thank
and
you.
I'll talk to you after the show, okay? Thanks.